Now let's get more analysis, and we're joined by political analyst Austin Rasmussen live from Oslo for more on this story. Thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World, Austin. So, first of all, Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said last week that Republican senators would act in total coordination with the president's team during the trial. I mean, aren't senators obliged to act as impartial jurors?
Well, I would think in a normal impeachment proceeding where the constitutional, the obligatory due process that's given by the Constitution was carried out in the impeachment proceedings in the House, then certainly Senate would be expected to be a more neutral party in this situation. But the facts are clear. This impeachment proceeding was initiated with an inquiry. But it was the first of many inquiries throughout this particular term of the House of Representatives. This is one of many attempts to impeach President Trump, and this just happens to be the one that went through. And just to give a bit of perspective on that, as actually Senator McConnell highlighted in his response today, this particular inquiry leading up to the ultimate impeachment only lasted about 12 weeks and was down party lines. Not completely. There were some Democrats.
So you're saying just because this impeachment process is not really true or honest, you can just throw out the oath and the Constitution?
No, of course not throw out the oath and the Constitution, but in this particular process, the whole process began and ended in the House with throwing out the Constitution. The Constitution is not being used as a basis for this proceeding.
But you have come to the process now of impeachment, so it is about the nation's interest above all, isn't it?
Law that was highlighted as to which laws were broken. It was an arbitrary, very ambiguous abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Obstruction of Congress, for example, was because Trump used executive privilege, a constitutional power, something that's been ruled constitutional over and over again, that the president has and has been used by every president going back all the way to George Washington. If we were to proceed with impeachment in this light, then every single president after Trump is going to be facing the same situation because the bar has now been set so low for what the standards of impeachment are.
But if you think that the president hasn't done anything wrong and he's all fair about all this, then why not be open? Why not, properly decide the rules and which witnesses will testify and go ahead with it all?
Well, I don't know that won't be the case, and we still have yet to see what the procedure is going to be coming from the Senate. For all we know, that could very well be what they do. For all we know, they could be bringing in actual fact witnesses. They could be bringing in actual evidence for or against the articles and conduct an actual hearing that allots the president due process, something that he wasn't afforded in this process so far. And again, to give this perspective, this particular inquiry took 12 weeks. For all other impeachment inquiries against any other sitting president in United States history, those proceedings took years to conduct interviews, years to collect evidence. It took years to actually get to the point that we're at today, where in this situation, it only took 12 weeks.
Well, that's all the time we have, but thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Austin Rasmussen.